was living in a squat, or when I first got there, it was pretty dirty. It's pretty much when you're really, really down in the dumps. I didn't really have a choice if I wanted to go home or not. I didn't really have one. So, yeah, it's just cold, wet, lonely.
I didn't have a future picture. I was just saying I had to live day by day because I had nothing else to do. I wanted to go get a house and I wanted to get a job, but I just didn't see a way of getting there. I didn't see any way of how I would get there.
Moving from place to place, probably moved in the space of about 5 years, probably moved about 10 to 15 times.
We moved from squat to squat pretty regularly because of having a lot of people there. It does seem to attract attention. We get move-on notices and have to find a different place.
And no matter where you turned, it was just, you couldn't do anything about anything. Like to eat and stuff, like you have your street, like your vans, but like if you miss that, you can't eat until the next day or the next morning. So you're pretty much starving all night. And that's where people go out like and steal food.
Oh, I have been through depression and stuff like this, you know, like just didn't know where to go in life.
Living on the streets, we couldn't really buy train tickets. And train tickets were $50 fine if like you got caught without one. And I accumulated so many of them that I couldn't really pay them off. And I couldn't pay them off unless I had a job. And I couldn't have a job unless I had a car. I couldn't get any of them unless I paid my fines off. I couldn't really go to work and do anything with the state that I looked in. Like, I couldn't really shower every day.
Most people in Perth don't realise how many young people are actually living on the streets. About a third of all the homeless in WA are under the age of 25. And in Passages, we're trying to do something about that. We provide a safe place for young people to come, have a shower, get some food, really basic things that most of us take for granted every single day. And once they're there, we try and get their trust. And trust with young people is absolutely everything.
For some reason they've fallen out of mainstream, I guess, and they need someone to talk to. And a lot of that, they build up trust with our social workers that are there, and eventually their self-esteem is improved, and they talk to us about their problems, and we refer them to help. So we're non-intrusive, non-religious. It's just offering an ear to people that perhaps nobody else is listening to.
Having actually somewhere to go to was, I guess, overwhelming. Feeling like, okay, there is actually hope out there for me.
One of my mates took me in and I looked around and got to know a few people, listened to the radio at the back and had a really hot shower and washed my clothes. It was just, yeah, awesome. I never felt so clean. It was like the best clean feeling.
When you leave here, you feel like a normal person. You're like, yeah, I can go to a job interview now.
If it's the fact they can't get money and it's Centrelink, then we have Centrelink come in. If it's some problem, health problem, we can talk to them and the street doctor comes over. You know, if they need clothes because they're in a bit of a shambly way, we can get them clothes, they have a shower, and it helps their self-esteem, you know, and in a few days, quite often, their outlook improves.
Gives you the biggest boost of confidence. Like, I never thought it would, but it really does.
Once we've got their trust, we can then introduce them to other services, and those services can help them get their lives back on track. So they can then realise their dreams, just like you and I.
When I walked into Passages for the first time, I met someone who started to talk about me, how I was feeling, how things were. And she said to me, I'm going to give you an application for a housing unit. And that was it. That was pretty much the day my life turned around.
Passages is a joint venture between the Rotary Club of Perth, the St Vincent de Paul Society and the Rotary Clubs in Mandurah. Since we opened our first house in Northbridge in 1999, we've seen over 20,000 youth They visited our house over 70,000 times, and we've provided over 120,000 services. Passages needs your help to survive.
For all the people that support Passages, and from all the people that use Passages, thank you.
Somewhere where you can feel safe.
Life-changing, definitely life-changing.